Welcome back to Unmute Yourself. I'm your host, Jennifer Carter. This podcast is about lifting the curtain on leadership, purpose, and the real stories behind women who dared to do things differently. We'll talk about how they found their path, the struggles along the way, and how they built something that truly matters. These are normal people doing extraordinary things because I want you to know you are extraordinary too. My guest today is Candice Elders, a communications and marketing leader whose career spans education, healthcare, workforce development, and finance. She currently serves as Vice President of Marketing at Honor Credit Union, where she leads a team across PR, advertising, design, digital strategy, and product marketing. Before her work in finance, Candice spent nearly 8 years as Executive Director of Marketing and Communications at Lake Michigan College, and earlier built her expertise in journalism, healthcare communications, and community development, right? Candice is also deeply committed to service, serving on multiple boards and championing youth development through Junior Achievement of Southwest Michigan. When she's not building brands and strengthening communities, she's outdoors, skiing, mountain biking, kayaking, or on stage as an amateur singer and actor. Ha ha, ta-da, I can't wait. Okay, Candice brings a blend of creativity, strategy, and heart to everything she does, and I'm thrilled to have her here today. Candice, welcome to Unmute Yourself. I'm so
Thank
honored to
you.
have you today.
Thanks so much for having me, Jennifer. Hello
Yes.
to you and all of your guests.
I feel like this is going to be a fun convo.
Let's make it fun. We can do it.
We cannot not be fun, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
we bring the fun.
let's bring it. Okay, so Ms. Candace, so you've worked in so many different sectors: journalism, healthcare, workforce development, higher ed, and now you're in finance.
Yeah.
What has been the through line for you that's connected all of those career choices?
Yeah. Um, so we're in a whirlpool town, and I always think like I just could not get up every day and haul myself out of bed in the cold, in the dark winter to like schlep stand mixers. I'm so glad that there are people who do that and they do it very well,
Love a
but I'm
stand
just
mixer.
not one of those
Yeah,
people.
right.
Like I feel like I've been lucky that every industry that I've worked in has been kind of a component that makes a healthy community, right? They primarily serve people and for the good of community and good of humanity. I'm in finance, but I'm in a credit union, which like is a nonprofit, member-owned, cooperative kind of model of finance that definitely serves the people and serves the community. So yeah, that plus with higher ed, being in a community college as a community college alumnus. I should know
Yeah.
that after 8
I
years.
don't know either. Alumni? No, okay.
That is the plural, I believe.
Okay. I'm
Alumni
with
is,
you. I'm
yeah.
following. Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, I feel like my journey, my personal journey and my family journey with money has brought a lot to my perspective in this role. My personal journey with education helped me a lot in with like Michigan College. Um, Healthcare also. I mean, I feel very personally motivated to be able to connect a person, my neighbor, my friend, to a service that I believe in and I believe that can sincerely help make their life better.
Got it. So it's the storytelling based on your background and how that shows up in the community.
And the mission, really, the
Mhm.
mission of the work. It's just like, here are good things that exist. And I want to make sure that the right people know how to access them and understand the advantages of, choosing us, right?
Yeah, that's great. You actually, is it right that you started on camera in news?
I did. Yeah. I did not study journalism. I was in sociology and communications for my undergrad and then went for my master's in public administration, which is kind of like an MBA, but for like the public sector. So really, I wanted to do policy work. I wanted to do, I never wanted to be a social worker or anything, but I uh, was out of grad school and I was a news junkie. So I saw this opportunity and I thought, wow, I did not study journalism, but I am a good writer. And my father was actually a cinematographer and my mom was a set
I
designer. So
I did
I
not
feel
know
like
that.
yeah, well, so and my grandfather was an actor. So I feel like I've got sort of camera and performance in my blood somehow. And so anyway, it was just a natural fit. I loved the job. It was great. It was the best because every day was a brand new day. Here were 1 to 3 stories that you had to start and finish within that workday. They could be a masterpiece and they could be a piece of garbage. But at the end of the day, this is what runs. And then the next day was a brand new, fresh start. And you got to meet new people and you got to tell a brand new story and go to a place that you've never been before. So that was wonderful. And it just wasn't really what I wanted to do long term. And what those professionals do is have to move to bigger and bigger markets. And that wasn't really, I do love to tell a story. So I feel like I kept that aspect of it and I kept the creative aspect of it. But I don't have to work in the news industry, which is really tough for people
I've
right
heard
now.
that it's really tough, but I
Yeah.
like how you've taken your storytelling, skills to move them into your career as a
Yeah.
marketing leader. So how did those early days in journalism and on the news shape who you are now as a leader?
Yeah. I mean, I think it definitely helped me distill the essence of a story quickly and concisely and efficiently, so I could get to the heart of it. Um, and that has served me well over the years. Um, it gave me an ability to connect with a wide variety of people, and really draw out stories. I'm a talker, but I learned the about the golden silence, just the art of shutting up and listening. And if you do that for long enough and you show sincere curiosity and interest, that people will open up and tell you something interesting. So I love that. And anyway, there were a lot of things I loved about it that I still carry with me today. Well, my first job after I left our news station was with a grant-funded position, funded by the Social Security Administration, and its mission was to help people navigate the complex myriad of resources for people with disabilities, and help them really get back to work. Um, and in that role, I ended up writing a newsletter and being a media relations person and doing a lot of the same communications work that I had done when I was working as a reporter. So that kind of carried over into my next job and the next job. And then really I just started to hone those skills and add marketing and advertising and digital marketing. And really over the last 20, 25 years, just the art of communication and marketing has drastically changed, right? When I started, it was still, okay, you advertise in this newspaper and on these 2 radio stations and on these 2 TV channels, and basically you've covered all your bases. And now it is a completely different job. Um, and it changes really more and more every day. And even with AI,
I can't.
that's
Yeah.
completely different. I mean, it's just the way you build a website, your expectations for what a website does, even social media has, came and changed and evolved and continues to evolve. So it is really exciting, and I love to be able to use its powers for good or what I see as good.
Candace, how do you lead through all of that fast moving communications world technology just to keep up? How do you do that?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like when I was earlier in my career, I was a very early adopter. I mean, I remember in 2007 when Facebook became a thing, and I was really pushing our executive team to say, this is not just a silly socialization thing. This is where people are going. We need to be where people are, right? And and since then, as I've grown in management and I'm less hands-on with those day-to-day things, I'm not writing the press releases. I'm not working directly with reporters. I'm not, um, you know, fielding comments on our Instagram or whatever.
Right.
But I've been able to really surround myself with people who do have that expertise. And that has been a major shift in my growth. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but
Mhm.
this was my first role where I was managing managers. So I've been managing people for quite some time, but this was my first time managing other managers. That changed the way I recruit and lead, um, by being less tactical and more, setting the vision, steering rather than rowing, helping people see the big picture and really removing barriers, like getting them the resources that they need, removing the barriers in their way, coaching them through any kind of issues, and really just trusting them to do the right thing, and also trying to create a culture where it is expected that we take risks, and it is expected that sometimes we're going to fail when we take those risks. And it's okay. If we're not doing that, it means we're not trying hard enough or being too mediocre, um, or we're leading out of fear, right? So let's just learn from them and come back as quickly as possible and move on and get better every day. And I'm so lucky to right now be surrounded with a team of just very self-motivated, dynamic, talented people, that I just am like, all right, go. Let me know how I
Right.
can sort of turbocharge the things that you're doing already. Um, and then getting out of the way.
How do you, 'cause marketing, I can imagine high visibility,
Yeah.
big stakes. I just heard you say you
Yeah.
like to take risks. How do you stay grounded? Because like a mistake, the first thing that's coming to my mind is like the Cracker Barrel logo change. Or you know what I mean? Like one weird post and things can
Yeah.
come crashing. How
Yeah,
do you manage that
I
that
think
stress?
probably just organically the definition of an emergency has changed a lot compared to when I was younger. I mean, I can just remember so many sleepless nights and tears and, feeling like I was a total failure. And the thing that sucks about marketing is that, like, every mistake people are seeing, right? If you make an accounting error, I mean, that's pretty important too. Like there are high
It's
stakes
like
in every
milking.
profession,
Yeah. Yeah.
but um marketing, when you screw up, it can be pretty visible, publicly visible. So I don't take that lightly. That responsibility is huge. And the reputation of the organization that I'm responsible for, I do hold in the utmost regard, and definitely don't take reputational risks, fundamental reputational risks. But um, I think you just got to roll with the punches sometimes and understand that, you're not going to be able to please everybody. If you are pleasing everybody, then you're probably just being really boring and bland. And I will say that having leadership that I'm reporting to, eh, I have enjoyed like quite a bit of autonomy and trust, in the people that I work for, and that makes a big difference too, to not feel like I'm in a culture of, finger pointing or CYA. I've been in those jobs before, and
Gross.
that's a lot different, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I hate it. I don't want to be a part of that in any way, shape, or
No,
form.
it sucks your
Um,
soul dry.
it absolutely does.
Yeah.
But like, it starts from the top. So right now at Honor, I think we don't always play it totally safe. We are looking toward the future and seeing the writing on the wall. And sometimes we take a big swing, and that is the culture that I'm a part of. And I think that helps me be more free to be able to try those things myself.
Wow. Yeah. And 2, I think as you are like stepping your toe or dipping your toe like outside the line or into new waters and testing things, you can go further and further and further. What's the biggest risk that you've taken? Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Mm,
Think about that.
I don't know. I don't know if I've taken like major, I mean, occasionally like a design or a message or, a creative piece where it's like, this I don't know. I'm not 100% confident about this, which is usually a good sign that maybe it's going to get noticed. So there's been a few of those, but some bigger, more I guess, consequential challenges. One was with when I was with the college and we had a millage campaign. This was not a risk, but it was a big responsibility to make sure that we were getting the message out to the right people through the right channels with the right tone, in order to persuade them to vote for our millage, right? We really needed that money, to for a new HVAC system and for a parking lot and things that really didn't feel that sexy, or um, maybe emotionally compelling
Right.
for
"Give
a
me
lot
your
of
money,
folks.
we need a parking lot." Yeah, that's tough.
Right, but it's
Right.
like, also, you gotta have heating and cooling in order for people to learn. That is just
It's
the
kind of
facts.
important. Yeah.
So, that I think that was one of the bigger challenges in my career is really just going on the road show, not being from my office, not being from the computer, ordering advertising, but it was, like, really just driving to every Lions Club meeting and every, any group that would listen to us, um, and trying to tell a story that would persuade them to support higher education in our
Wow.
community. Um, when you get a lot of hostile people, right? When you're talking about their tax dollars, you've got a lot of issues that you're dealing with that they're coming at you with preconceived notions, that have nothing to do with the college. It had more to.
Well, as you've moved up throughout your career, I think what I notice is there's folks that are coming up or they're hitting a mid-level manager position and they see that executive position in marketing as completely out of reach.
Oh,
"Oh, I know." She said, "Oh."
I hope
So,
that.
but right, because there's not as many positions and how do you get there? And it's frustrating and right. So as you've climbed the ladder and moved up, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned?
I mean, I think there are a few lessons. I've known quite a few gatekeepers, right? You work with these gatekeepers that hold the knowledge close to their chest. They want to be the one with all the answers. They want to be the only one that can do all the things. And I think that is sort of inherent in human nature in a way that makes people feel safe in their careers and safe in their roles or makes people feel valued or valuable. I I think I've grown enough to understand that if I'm not creating processes and people and systems in the areas that I'm responsible for that can exist like pretty seamlessly without me, then I am not doing my job, right? Like share the information, share the knowledge, really ask and care about what people want to do with their own careers, and then if it fits the mission and if it serves a practical and strategic need in the organization, let people spread their wings, let people stretch and try new things. Don't be threatened by that. Everybody should be succession planning all of the time. That should not be like an isolated initiative, right? We should be bringing people up because I think, especially now with the younger generation, they're not expecting to stay at a job for even 5 years, let
Yeah,
alone 10
right.
or 20. In order for you to keep them, you have to offer them growth and you have to offer people like a sense of purpose. And
Right.
in order to have that, they have to feel like they're growing and contributing. And nobody can contribute if you're doing all the contributing yourself.
Well, I think too, it's the difference between, hey, here we go, Candace, you're going to fit this box of what we need at the company, do the job or get out, and saying, oh my gosh, you have all of these talents. I didn't know you're a singer, an actress, journalism, you're in front of the camera, you've got finance background for marketing, education, workforce, and all of it, and bringing that whole person in and figuring out how they can spread their wings within the organization to make it even better. Yeah, better,
Yeah.
bigger,
Yeah,
expand.
totally. You
Yes.
don't check your humanity at the door, right? You bring your whole person for better or for worse, and maybe not, you're not going to be able to use all of your gifts in your, current situation.
You could
But I
if
think
you
if
sang
we're,
at work, Candice, I mean, I would listen if I were there. She laughs at me, but I just
yeah,
think it
come
would
in
be
on your
fun.
birthday. We'll sing it.
So for women listening who might feel stuck in, like, a single lane, like, "They only see me as this," or "I could never
Yeah.
because," how can they leverage transferable skills the way you have?
Yeah. I mean, I think the onus starts with a person really truly understanding the organization and the goals of the department and understanding like how to fill a need, right? See a need, fill a need. How can you match your interests and skills and with something that provides solves a problem for the organization that you're working for. And if you don't have those skills right away, then like be proactive and find those skills. I mean, in this day and age, you don't necessarily need to go and spend thousands of dollars on a degree. There's so much information online. And I think any manager worth their salt is going to recognize somebody that is willing and able to grow and learn in order to, fill a gap or solve a problem that everybody needs solved. So make yourself useful, right? I think some people approach it like, I want to grow, and then they want you to sort of like drag them along, but I'd rather see somebody who's like taking the initiative to climb and then just be like, all right, how do I turbo boost you where you need to be, and in the right direction that's like also solving a problem for me and my employer.
Yeah, there's something to be said about not waiting for permission
Yeah,
on taking initiative,
for sure.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see somebody jumping in and trying
Yeah.
rather than just, "You didn't let me." Well, what yeah,
Right.
okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I'm also curious about this for you because you do have such a strong presence. Did you yeah.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
yes.
thanks.
See, you're welcome. Hey, you're
Right.
welcome. What do you wish more women understood about owning their intelligence and presence
Oh,
in rooms that the stakes might be higher?
yeah.
Like, how do you just show up so confidently?
I mean, I really, I really believe that no one's better than me and that I'm not better than anybody else. You
You just
know,
belong.
like everybody has their stuff, right? Everybody has their gifts and talents and everybody has their own insecurities. And I'm generally curious about who people are and what they want and where they're coming from and what they have to offer. And I am so aware of every single flaw of my own, believe me. But I think I have gotten more forgiving of myself in those areas. And I'll tell you, I've read a book a really long time ago. Like it's old now. And I think it was First Break All the Rules. And one of the lessons was that um, you can invest a lot of resources and time and energy into helping people be better at the things that they're bad at. And maybe you'll only get from like, 5% to 10% or something.
Yes.
But if you just say, like, that's not your jam, you know, let's figure out how to really build up the areas where you excel naturally and somehow supplement, like get you to a place where you're going to meet the needs of the job. But I'm never going to be great at a lot of things. And what I have learned is that if I can be realistic with myself about that and appreciate the things that I am good at and see the people who are different than me and compensate where I lack, then those are like the best powerful teams, right? Where I just love somebody who's different than me.
'Cause it's
and
fun.
right, it's
Right.
fun.
So fun.
Yeah, and I admire people so much that are good at the things I'm bad at. So I think that is part of it. Um I have a daughter now, and to see her struggle with self-confidence is just so painful,
Right.
right? And I think that we all have that. And especially when you're going through middle school,
It's
it is such a
terrible.
tough age,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
You're in it. Um, so, how do you present to the world your best foot forward without seeming obnoxious or cocky or better than or too prideful, but also just acknowledging you're a person in the world, I'm a person in the world. We're all just trying to get by. Like if I can make somebody's day better, then I consider that a success in my book.
Right. Right.
I don't
But
feel
so
like I
what?
have anything to prove anymore. I just want to make things better for wherever I am and whoever I touch, I
I
guess.
love I love that. You don't have anything to prove anymore. So right now, when you think about unmuting yourself, what does that look like for you at this moment?
Hmm.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess if honestly, if I've struggled with anything, it's been my journey to mute myself more often.
Oh.
Being unmuted is not my problem. Listening is has been something that I've worked on for a long time. Um, but if I guess if there was a goal for unmuting myself, it would be to be using my voice to lift other people up or amplify those whose voices are worthy and needing and deserving. Um, so if I can do that more in my life, that would
Mhm.
be good.
So
Gosh,
we just
yeah.
have a few quick fire questions for you,
Okay.
okay? So answer the first thing that comes to mind.
All right.
Here we go. Okay, what's a bold idea you've had recently that scares you just enough to try it?
Literally, I just had a conversation with, well, I had a meeting with a colleague that she was like apologizing for her hair because her mom was in the hospital. And I thought, oh my God, if we could just have a barber and a stylist that would have an office in a hospital where people have time to kill, but they might need some services. Wouldn't that be great to just have an
Great idea.
in-house, hair cutter, barber, root
Touch up.
colorer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so people feel like themselves
Maybe not my
again
most inspired idea, but that's the one that just happened in
because
the
it brings
last
joy.
hour.
Because it brings joy.
Yeah.
It I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Self-care, right, too, is important too when you're
Yes,
going through a crisis and
I
you're
agree.
caring for somebody else, right? That it takes a lot out of a person. If you can
I love
go
that.
get a scalp massage or something in the
Yes,
middle
please.
of a family crisis, like good on you.
That's a great idea. Totally different way to look at healthcare. Oh, okay. So good. Okay, if you could unmute one topic people aren't talking about enough, what would it be?
I'm gonna Ooh, it's hard not to get political. Um
It's so tough, isn't it?
I mean, I have a really long list I could just fire off. I mean, I'll go back to, something that I learned in each industry, right? Healthcare. If we could just invest in preventative care for people, you see how expensive it is to take care of a sick person once they've gotten to the point that they have to come to the emergency room. If we could get diabetics their insulin, if we could just get better primary care for people, it would be such a practical way to save a ton of money. The healthcare system is just colossally broken right now. I would love to see more voices, work toward that. Higher education, I'd love to see it more affordable, not
Mhm.
necessarily for 4-year degrees for everybody, but skilled trades, absolutely. Let's pave a pathway to get post-secondary credentials more accessible for people to make a decent living without going into $100,000 worth of student loan debt. For being in the financial industry, financial wellness and education is so important. And I didn't learn that when I was a kid.
I
And
did not
now my
either.
work with junior achievement is awesome because you can go into a third grade classroom and teach them all about, the things that fundamental money habits, earn, save, spend, donate. Even just that philanthropy is built in to that ethos at a very young age. And also just if I would have known more about compound interest 30
Oh,
years
yeah.
ago, I would have probably not bought that round of martinis. I probably
We
would have
probably wouldn't.
saved that $20, which is it would be $50 now and invest it. So yeah, I
Yeah.
wish that I would have, yeah.
Dang it. Dang it.
More voices amplifying those things
Yes.
would be good.
Okay, what's one small daily habit that's had a big impact on your mindset?
I started meditating during COVID, and I'm a very like low woo-woo person, but it has helped a lot with my focus and my stress management. Just 10 minutes a day of taking a minute to be quiet has helped a lot. That and running, just moving
Here we are.
consistently. Yeah.
Great. And if listeners could take one action, not just an idea, after hearing your interview, what should it be?
I don't know if my interview is inspiring for anybody, but I do think execution of an idea and a plan is just, 90% of making your dreams come true. And there are definitely practical ways you can do it. I mean, decide what you want to do, specific, smart goals, make them specific steps to do it, tape it to your bathroom mirror, and just do a little bit of something every single day that gets you toward that goal. And the more that you succeed, the more addicted you are going to become to, really seeing that goal through. I think
Yeah. Baby steps, man.
anybody can do anything. Anybody
Right.
can do anything.
Right. One little step at a time.
Yeah.
Okay, last fast question. What's
Yeah.
one word that captures who you're becoming right now? I'm right there with you. So good. But Candace,
um,
this is
seasoned.
seasoned, mature. Okay. Well, this has been such a powerful conversation. Thank you for sharing your story and your wisdom. Before we wrap, I do have two final questions.
Okay.
So, if listeners walk away remembering just one thing from this conversation, what do you hope it is?
Yeah, like anybody can do anything they set their mind to. There's nothing special about me. I mean, I came from very humble origins, and struggled a lot. And I think just try to get some grit, try to persevere, don't give up. It sounds so trite, but it is so true. you know,
I feel
don't
like I
give
could
up
make
on
a
yourself.
motivational, like whole motivational reel with you. Don't give up. Go for a run. Do your meditation. Yes.
Yeah, a
Yes.
little bit.
Yeah.
And
Just
be
a
nice to yourself,
be
right? Like
nice.
cut yourself a
And to
break.
others. Ugh, for crying out loud.
Especially women in the sandwich generation where we're caring for kids and we're caring for aging parents. And, we, the expectations are so high to
Yeah.
be successful and bake the cookies and volunteer at the thing. And it's just a lot. And you can do everything, but you can't do everything all at once, right?
No.
Just pick one thing and give yourself grace for the rest of it, or try.
Yes. Okay. On a more personal note, what has it meant for you to share your story here on Unmute Yourself today?
I mean, I am grateful that you're interested in my story. I hope it can be helpful to somebody. I think everybody has a story, right?
Everybody has a
Are you a
story.
podcast listener? One of my favorite podcasts is This American Life.
Oh,
And
don't get me started. I know.
there was this episode called 24 Hours at the Golden Apple. That actually, yeah, anyway, 24 Hours at the Golden Apple. And these reporters just set up camp in this 24-hour diner, and they just interviewed random people that came into the diner
I love
at
that.
all hours of the day and night. And every single one of those stories was fascinating. Some were hilarious, some were heartbreaking. And I just believe that every single person has a really interesting, beautiful, heartbreaking, hilarious story to tell. And I love it that you are um, using your platform to um, hear people's stories and have opportunity to share. So I think it's really cool what you're doing. And I'm very humbled that you thought I was worth listening to. So
Yo,
hopefully it helps.
of course. Yes, you're Candace for crying out loud. Okay, so how can listeners connect with you and your work? Are you
Oh,
LinkedIn?
you know what? If you
What?
Google Candice Elders in quotes, I'm still, I think, the only Candice Elders on the internet, which I'm
My
lucky for my
mind is
name.
blown.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes. So Google Candice Elders, Candice with an
Yeah, or just
ICE at
like
the end.
LinkedIn,
Okay.
wherever I'm on all the things. I don't check LinkedIn all the time, but
Okay. Yeah, you're just there.
yeah.
Acting,
There.
singing, running,
Yeah.
meditating, and telling a
Mostly
story.
napping. I'm doing a
And
jigsaw puzzle right now. Like
okay, that's good.
it's
I
pretty
like
hot.
that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and your wisdom with us today. And to everyone listening, thank you for tuning in to Unmute Yourself. If today's conversation inspired you, please share this episode, subscribe, like, follow, and stay tuned for more stories of leaders creating work that truly fits and matters. Until next time, unmute yourself and step into the story only you can tell.